the Government of Canada, the Honourable Gary Anand Sangari, Mayor of the County of Cork, Councillor Joe Carroll, members of my accompanying Indian delegation, Dr. Padmini Turlapati, Mr. Pradeep Kalsi, representatives from the Irish National Police Service, Royal Canadian Mounted Police, the Naval Service, ILAG, and the first responders, representatives from the Bantry Community College, Ahakista Community Association, and our Billion Student Choir from the Ahakista National School, dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen. It is a solemn occasion that brings us together. We are gathered here today with deep sorrow and heavy hearts to remember the 329 innocent lives that perished on that fateful day, June 23rd, 1985, exactly 40 years ago.
शाम स्टील फ्लेक्सी स्ट्रॉन्ग टीएमटी बार, ये स्ट्रॉन्ग के साथ फ्लेक्सिबल भी है।
आपदा मुसीबत कोई भी आए, ये घर को अटूट बनाए।
जब टीएमटी फ्लेक्सी स्ट्रॉन्ग,
तो घर रहे हमेशा के लिए स्ट्रॉन्ग।
I want to start by paying tribute to the wonderful community of Ahakista and the people of Ireland. The spirit with which the people of Ahakista and nearby areas rose to the occasion in solidarity with the families of the victims is a story that I think has remained unknown but needs to be told and retold. Apart from the emergency assistance in identifying the bodies and locating the collecting of the debris, they opened their homes to complete strangers and generously put them up in their hour of grief. This memorial site stands testimony to a tragedy of that crash on the shores of the Atlantic Ocean, not far from here. Out of the ruins of a tragedy, the unique friendship between the Irish and Indian peoples was deepened. This bond between our two countries has strengthened since then as our economic relationship has diversified, with bilateral trade between India and Ireland scaling new heights. On behalf of India, I therefore would like to once again thank the country of Ireland for continuing to memorialize the Air India 182 tragedy. The destruction of Air India Flight 182 Emperor Kanishka by an act of terrorism is a stain on humanity. As a representative of the Government of India, I once again extend my heartfelt condolences to the bereaved families and the people of the countries from which the passengers were drawn, Canada, India, and Britain. Men, women, and children, more than 80 children had boarded that flight expecting to return their loved ones. They never did. This tragedy was not an accident. It was a deliberate, heinous attack carried out by extremist elements associated with fringe and radical movements who sought to weaken and still seek to weaken countries by such actions through terror. Sadly, this is not merely an episode of the past. Terrorism and extremism remain a very real present-day threat, one that many of our countries know very well. What is often forgotten is the terrorist takes away the most fundamental of rights, the right to life. And whether the act is committed on 9/11 or 26/11 or Pahalgam, the effects are exactly the same. Innocent lives of people who have nothing to do with the differences that might emerge end up laying down their lives. Across the world, many countries face the scourge of terrorism. And as I said, an act of terror committed wherever, whatever be the cause, ends up doing the same thing. It takes away the right of life of innocent peoples. Sadly, in the year 2024, such deaths have increased, and a number I came across that in the year 2024 it has gone up to 8,352. Each year brings deadlier forms of violence against innocent civilians. The world needs to come together, not only in isolated episodes of solemn mourning such as these, but in collective, proactive efforts to combat this terrorism. Ideologies may differ, political differences may exist, but we need to remain vigilant. We need to recognize these dangerous trends, which instead of disappearing, seem to be gaining further ground. On behalf of India, I call upon the global community to remember our shared responsibility. I call upon our Canadian friends in particular to deepen our bilateral collaboration in countering this. Canada is a valued partner and a friend of India. We share vibrant cultural and economic relations with each other, and we are bound by democratic traditions. And those ideals require us to act together against all forms of extremism and terrorism. When separatist violence and separatist voices find sanctuary, when extremist figures glorify violence and they threaten not just the people whose lives they take away, they threaten societies at large. By working together, sharing intelligence, shutting off funding channels, countering radicalization, we can ensure that those who continue to promote hate and terror cannot succeed.
ये स्टाइल का मामला है रूपा फ्रंटलाइन।
India stands ready to do more. Our security agencies, our intelligence apparatus, and our diplomatic channels remain committed to partnering with Canada and all other countries. Let us redouble our efforts to ensure that what happened on 23rd June 1985 is never repeated, not here, not in India, not anywhere in the world. Flight AI 182 tragedy was one of the deadliest terrorist attacks in aviation history. It has left scars that have not healed even after 40 years. I have personally had the benefit of knowing many of you, those of you who lost their dear ones, and over the years we have grieved together, we have reached out, and I'm afraid even 4 decades later, some of us are still not coming to terms with that horrific accident or act of crime. Let this commemoration send a powerful, united message that those who chose the path of terror will never prevail over the enduring bonds of humanity, democracy, and friendship. Our nations have mourned together for 40 years, and we will continue to honor the memory of those who lost by striving for peace, security, and justice. May the memories of all those who perished remain forever in our hearts. I thank you very much.